That is absolutely incredible. But can you smell it? Can you smell the whiskey gravy sauce? Welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing one of my recipes. Look at this. We're making a Scottish Highland pie. That's what I'm calling it. It's a Haggis, Neeps and Tatties pie. Scottish Highland pie. It's one of my recipes. It's absolutely fantastic. It's layered throughout with Haggis, Neeps and Tatties. Let's show you how to do it. Come on. We're going to make hot water crust pastry, which is the common pastry in Scotland. We're using Haggis, and this is by Grant's. It is a premium brand, and I absolutely love this Haggis. And as you can see, I've had an order, which is nice. I've got some Neeps, real Neeps, which I've actually cubed up. They're known as rutabaga across the pond, and I've cubed up some potatoes. Now, when I was cubing, I decided I wanted to have some potato texture as well as a mashed potato. So what I've done, halfway through, I changed my mind from cubing for mash to slicing. So I've got some sliced potato and I've got cubed potato. And we are going to boil this up for about 7 minutes, somewhere around about there. And then we are going to sift, painfully sift, because we're going to have to go through all of this and get these slices out of there. And then we'll leave the potatoes on to boil. We want mashed potatoes as well. I'm putting the Neeps on behind me. Okay, I've cubed those already. So like I say, rutabaga across the pond. That's going on to boil behind me. They're just going in a pan with some salt, and so are the potatoes. And then we'll make the hot water crust pastry. So we've got a couple of really enormous pans here. I've got some good old sea salt, that's going in there, and that is going on behind me. And then we've got our potatoes, and again in there with some sea salt. I'll put that on behind me too. You know, people get really fussed over hot water crust pastry, but it's very basic. Got some water in there, we'll turn it on. We're going to heat it up so we get some warm water, and then we're going to put our fats in there, our butter and shortening in this case. Now you certainly don't have to go crazy with this hot water, okay? And put your butter and all your fats in there. I'm using butter and shortening, and then all you do is carefully melt the fats into the water. Now the thing is with this, it does not have to be boiling water, because boiling water and fat will splash. And as you see, I've turned the flame off completely. That water is hot enough to melt this shortening and butter. And that's all we need, hot water. It's hot water crust. That's our bowl of flour. We're going to be going in there with a little bit of salt, salt to taste, and then what you have to do is make a wellish, not too much of one, and our fat and our water all in there. Turn over your spoon and just stir until that fat goes into that pastry, or into that flour to make our pastry. And then it's just a case of bringing it in like you would with your normal pastry. Just turn it in, nice and steady. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make hot water crust pastry. Now, it is too hot, so we have to let it cool a little minute, and then we'll put it to cool down properly. That's unmanageable at the moment. It is absolutely boiling. Okay, and when your fork goes in your rutabaga or your swede, it's done. Now, we do not want to make this too wet in here, but we do want a little bit of butter. And seasoning of choice for me is black pepper. And then we're going to give it a mash. Straightforward mash up. Now you can mash it fine and mushy, or you can leave texture. It's up to you. Whatever you prefer. Okay, now I'm not going to go much more than that. I want some of that texture in my pie. In here, I've already taken out those sliced potatoes, and we need to mash some potatoes. Again, not too much butter, just enough to make it moist. Again, mash to how you like. That could be a little bit dry. We might have to go in there with a little bit more butter. Or a splash of milk. I'm just going to do a quick splash of milk in there. Give it a bit more moisture. Fantastic. Nothing hard about this at all. A little bit of oil in a pan. This is canola oil. Pan on. Not too high. Open tin. Now this stuff by Grant's is real premium quality. You know, you look at it and you think, what the heck? But you know, the smell of the spices, and you can see the oats in there, it is incredible. Just cook out all that rawness, cook it through, and if you get a bit of colour on there, fantastic. So we're just going to keep turning it over a little minute and let the mixture dry out a little bit. You know, you can see when the mince will be ready. Don't dry it too much. We need moisture in there. However, we have to have it cooked. Okay, just look at that. That is fantastic. That's job done, flame off. We'll let that cool a little minute, and then we'll sort out our pastry and we'll put this pie together. Okay, right, what I'm doing today, I'm using an 8-inch springform tin. It's just a bog standard 8-inch, and it's well worn, as you can see. Now we want to be rolling out some pastry to fit the bottom of that, and we want a lid. We're making a hot water crust pie. Now we want to be rolling it so it goes all the way up the side and on the bottom. Feed it in. Dump it in there. Don't worry about it. Dump it in. Feed it in. Get it all the way down the bottom there. Bend over your finger. Squash it in. Squash up the sides. That's our pastry lined in there. This is where you decide how you want to layer your pie. Now for me, some of those sliced potatoes in there, in the bottom. Now, I've never seen this pie anywhere ever, so this is a first. But you know, this is one of those daft things that I like to make. Okay, we've got a bit of potato in there. We're going to do a little bit of mash in there. Squash it down. A little bit of our Neeps. A nice layer in there, look. Get that in and squash it down. And then we're going in there with some of our haggis. Half of our haggis. Now of course if you add more haggis you could put more in, or more tatties, more anything. Just do it any which way you want. We're just making up what we want in there. Potatoes. Another layer of mashed potato. Not so thick this time. We've still got to build up the layers inside here. Some more Neeps. Can you see why we've got overhang? Because when the next layer of pastry goes on, we're going to have a raised up pie. And the rest of our haggis. That is awesome. One side we need a lid, a little bit of flour on there. Our pie top. Let's have that off there. And all we're doing is crimping that up together. Crimp it up together inside the tin, like that. Okay? And then you can work out exactly what excess you do not want. Right, we don't want all that, so that's coming off there. Okay? Nice, steady. We don't need any of that. Just don't get flustered over this. It's very straightforward. Hot water crust pastry you've taken off. You can actually put it in the fridge, you can use it if you so wish. Right. What I want to do with this pastry is to fold it in. So fold it in, roll it over inside the tin lip. Roll it in like that. Don't get flustered over this. Okay, just fold it in like that. It looks as ugly as heck, but it doesn't matter, honestly. Okay, so we're in like that, and then we're going to do the 2 finger, 1 finger. Okay, just put a little bit of something inside there. It doesn't matter about it being too fancy, because when it cooks, pastry swells a little bit. So this is going to swell out. So your little design that goes on here is going to look fine. There you go. So we've got this nice little top on there, and we have to vent. There's a lot of edge in there. So we'll just put 2 holes in the top like that. That should be enough. Right, we have to egg wash. So what we're going to do is just stick the oven on first. Let's have that out of there. We don't want that in there. Oven on, 180 degrees. So this is our lovely pie. Nice egg wash on the top. Let's have that golden hue on this pie. Nice little bit around that crusty top there. So that is our beautiful, beautiful looking pie. And I mean, it looks beautiful already. Hasn't even gone in the oven yet. Tray. So I don't really know what to call this, to be quite honest. You know, I've made it so many times. I love it. And I'm going to make a whiskey gravy to go with it as well, actually. Now, it's a Haggis, Neeps and Tatties pie. And not just for Burns night. Okay, that's at 2 minutes. Look, in we go. Right, we want to be cooking this for about 30 minutes. Okay, there we are. End hot. Let's get that out of there. Oh, oh my goodness me. Look at that. That is absolutely flipping marvellous. That is an awesome, awesome looking pie. Wow. Okay, we're going to have to let it cool down and then we'll crack it open. Make up a whiskey gravy sauce or a whiskey gravy and we'll have some. Just look at that. Wow. Okay, so while we got our pie cooling there, we need to crack on and just make ourselves a whiskey gravy. So we're going to go in here with some butter. A nice amount of butter there, look. Probably about a tablespoon and a half, actually. Nice little stir around. We're going to dump in there our chopped garlic and our onions. I'm going to start to give that a little saute in there. We want to be softening up these onions in there. A little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. Give that a little mixing in. I'm going to go in there with a little bit of Worcester sauce. We want to be going in there with about half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Let's have that stirred in. We're going to go in there with a couple of tablespoons of flour. And we need to be cooking out the rawness of the flour. And we are making a whiskey gravy. And we want to deglaze the pan. We want about 1/4 cup. Oh, I think that's, wow, that aroma's fantastic. I think that's deglazed it a little bit. Maybe it's a little touch more. Look, it's stuck a bit more there. Can you see that? Oh, and then we want to be going in there with our gravy. So I'm just going to quickly change to a whisk so we can get that fully incorporated in there. That's flame off, and I think we need to cut our pie. Okay, we need to pop the tin. Will it pop? Will it heck? Oh, look at that. Just look at that beauty. That is incredible. That really is incredible. Okay, we need to cut in. Are we ready? That is Haggis, Neeps and Tatties pie made. That is phenomenal. You ain't seen nothing like that before. That is absolutely incredible. But can you smell it? Can you smell the whiskey gravy sauce? Oh, look at that. Let's get in here and give it a taste. Where do you start? Oh, where do you start? Look at that. We've got our haggis in there, our neeps, our tatties, our whiskey gravy sauce. Oh, are you kidding me? That is, oh, I think that's the best version of the pie I've made, and you can see the pastry's cooked okay underneath too. So I'm making a mess here, but on purpose. I'm opening it up. Look at that, haggis, neeps, tatties, potato, more haggis, more tatties, and then the tatty underneath. Come on, you've not seen anything like that before. That is fantastic. Scottish fusion, all pulled together in one. Oh, well, that really is high quality. That is superb. Now, that's one of my pies. I hope you like it. And if you do like it, don't forget, give it the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.